Was Jorge Negrete a tenor or a baritone? Okay, so I've been seeing a lot of back and forth on this, especially in like the comments of YouTube sections. There are hundreds of comments among different videos arguing about this, so let me clear it up for everybody. Jorge Negrete was a baritone, and I'm gonna show you guys proof as to why. Okay, so a lot of the times people, including like really popular vocal coaches on YouTube and Instagram and social media, will quote Jorge Negrete's high notes as the reason why he's a tenor.
Yo soy mexicano.
Okay, he sounds great in these, but these are all high A's, and I don't think that he ever sang or recorded anything above a high A. And these high A's make sense as to why he's a baritone and not a tenor, because high A natural is like the baritone's version of a tenor high C. High A natural is the highest note that a baritone is expected to sing in the classical music world. And here I have proof from the German Fox system, which has been used for hundreds of years to categorize voice types. Here you can see that it has the range listed here, and the highest note is an A natural. So the fact that he can sing these high A's doesn't make him a tenor automatically like what people say. And actually, he cracked on this last one.
Yo soy mexicano.
Which, like, no shade to him at all. I'm a baritone, and sometimes I crack on high A's because the high A is the highest baritone note, so, like, makes sense. Okay, to further prove his baritoneness, let's go to some of Negrete's low notes.
Tengo dinero en el mundo, dinero maldito que nada vale.
That's a low A at the bottom of the bass staff. A tenor cannot hit that note. And if they can, it's gonna be like super soft, you know? It's gonna be like, Tengo dinero en el mundo. It's not gonna be powerful and full like Negrete's Tengo dinero en el mundo, where it has like core to it. El. You know, it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be or something like that. And if you need even further proof of his baritone status, here's this. That was Negrete singing Votre Toast, a really iconic baritone aria from the opera Carmen. Before he was a mariachi singer, Jorge Negrete was actually an opera singer, and he billed himself as a baritone, which is why he's singing this aria. It's why he's singing this aria, why he's playing this character of Escamillo, the bullfighter. If he was a tenor, he would be the character Don Jose, and he would be singing the tenor aria from Carmen instead, not this one. Even after he became like the world's most famous mariachi singer, he would still do opera sometimes. Mainly he would do zarzuelas in Spain, which are like Spanish light operas. But even then, he would play the baritone characters in these zarzuelas. Like at that point, he could be any character he wanted to, right? But he would still play the baritones because that was his voice type. So yeah, and on a side note too, I think that the word tenor has kind of gotten a little bit lost in some spaces, which has caused even more confusion around Negrete's voice type. I think that people have sort of started colloquially using the word tenor when what they're really trying to say is opera singer. And I think this is happening because a lot of the famous male opera singers tend to be tenors, like Pavarotti, Placido Domingo. He's not an opera singer, but Andrea Bocelli, for example. These are all people that, even if you're not into opera or, you know, the classical music scene in any kind of way, a lot of people have still heard these names, and they're all tenors. Kind of like how people say Kleenex for any kind of tissue or facial tissue, when Kleenex is just like a specific brand of tissue. But now a lot of people just say like, oh, can you get me some Kleenex? But what they really mean is, can you get me tissue? They're not really meaning, can you get me some Kleenex brand tissue paper? You know what I mean? So people hear Jorge Negrete's voice, they hear that it's operatic sounding, and then they go, oh, he's a tenor. So you combine the people that call him a tenor because of his good high notes, and then the people that call any opera singer a tenor, and you put them together, and you have like a big group of people that argue for him being a tenor, and that's what leads to all these like comment sections that I see with like hundreds of back and forths about about whether he's a tenor or a baritone. But yeah, he's a baritone, and hopefully I've made it pretty clear and made it pretty indisputable, I guess. If you've been calling him a baritone, congratulations, you were right. If you've been calling him a tenor, hopefully you learned something new, and now you can be right too. And if you don't care, or if you don't know who Jorge Negrete is, because I've noticed like less people know who he was than like when I was growing up. If you're any of those people, thank you for staying this long in this video. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you're still unsure about this, if there's anything else that you'd like for me to clear up, or if you want me to answer any questions about another singer, just drop that in the comments.